Hi, princesses and princes. It is Bobbie, Princess Doll, here for another confession. So, I am dressed as Cinderella from the new live action Descendants The Rise of Red, and I'm inspired by Brandy with the blue locks. So, yes. And I have my custom Chad Charming and also a Hasbro Cinderella doll here and some other Cinderellas who couldn't make it in the shot because they're too big. So yeah, I'm so excited for this movie. Oh my Bobbie. Okay, I just watched the movie the other day and ah, I loved it. It was so good. I was so excited for it. The hints of music we already knew we're gonna love it. Like Red. Okay, we heard that song before, her intro song, and I loved it. It is definitely one of my top songs. Another favorite song of mine is The Perfect Revenge by Dara Renee. It was so good. She killed her part as Uliana. She killed it. Go, girl. You do that. Like, I love her in High School Musical, the series. I love Kylie Cantrell from that, too. Like, get it, girl. Okay. And then I also love the song with Kylie and Rita Ora, like Love Ain't It. It was so good. It's like a song you would hear on the radio. So that it kind of felt like it didn't really like mesh well with like the musical storyline because it felt like a song on the radio. And then also like Love Ain't It coming out of nowhere. Like we never like heard Kylie's character Red express like wanting love and her mom dismissing that, even though I'm sure she would, but we never felt that. We only felt like or heard about Red like expressing herself through her wardrobe and like not wanting to be like her mom, and like the way she expressed that really related to me as a queer person with a mom who just like wants to control you and like have you be who they want you to be. And Red was definitely like that, telling her mom like you can't accept me for me, mainly relating to her wardrobe. But like definitely that relates to us as queer people as well. But I love that storyline. And okay, like I told y'all, I love the movie, but it had me crying in the first 5 minutes. Like the tribute to Cameron and like Uma, like, giving those real tears. Like it was just like, heart jerking for us. Like, oh my Bobbie, like I love and miss you, Cameron. And I'm so glad they, dedicated that to you. And I just want to say also, I feel like I wanted more Uma in the movie. That was my, downside of like Descendants 3 is like there wasn't enough Uma, and I feel like the same here. Like I wanted her to go on like the adventure with the other girls, and like she would have went. She would have got into like see her aunt Uliana, and like we get to see that dynamic and her help her aunt and her cousin too. And it's so kind of cool to see like all the different age ranges and like how they're kind of like overlapping, and how like Uliana is like in the same age range as her nephew. It's like really cool to see a different family dynamic than like the normative like dynamic that we always see. But I'm glad like all those villain kids, like they were like, I feel like they were like a lot darker than like a normal villain kids, and I loved it. Like seeing Maleficent and Hades and them like holding hands and like, oh yeah, it's like seeing like, oh yeah, they were like really in a relationship and into each other, and they had Mal, and like it's just really cool to see that dynamic and them being like so like dark and cool. And I love that dynamic, and I love seeing Red's mom, the Queen of Hearts, like be like so different than what we normally think of the Queen of Hearts. But like I feel like it was too short. I wanted more. So like if Uma went in the past with them, then I feel like that would have added more to the storyline, and she could have had like a storyline with her aunt. But then also at the end, like when they fixed it, they were like, oh, okay, let's go. We don't have to worry about like checking to make sure it was okay. I felt like the Time Watch should have stopped them from going in the past and being like, nope, there's more you need to do. But it didn't. And so I almost wanted like a new storyline. I thought of like, what if like they wanted to like prank, her mom and be like, oh, we'll have a prince like say he's gonna take you to the dance, and then like he humiliate you like in the middle of the dance. Like that would have been epic for them to like do that and like have to come together and like console her and make her feel better. That would have been cool. And so that's my only qualm, is that like I wanted more to the storyline, but overall like the storyline was really good. Like for Descendants, like I don't want to be blasphemous, but like Descendants, like I always love the characters, I love the songs, but the storylines aren't always up there. And this one really was, just, you know, minus like a little bit, like just being longer. So okay. But oh yes, I also have to say for Brandy, like I love Brandy in the 90s Cinderella, and like to see her now, like them welcoming her back into the, not back, but just like into the Descendants world, and like everybody being like, oh, what about Chad? And like, no, they mentioned Chad. Like I just love that they brought that aspect into there. And like when I first saw her look, I was like, oh, she doesn't have her micro braids. Like, oh, that's like sucks. Like I love that representation that we had back then. But then when in the movie, when like she did her song, she turned around and we saw the back of her hair and she had the braids, and I was like, yes, the braids are still there. So I love that. So overall, I love this movie. And I already told you all my favorite songs, and like that's it. Okay, so I hope y'all enjoyed this confession. Make sure to comment above, like and subscribe, and tell everyone you know about me, Bobbie. So bye.